last week, we didn't talk to any of these controversial problems around the world. But last week, we talked about a more amusing topics, which is about discussing about the behaviors of teenagers around the world. Is it bad or worse or improving? But today, we are again talking or discussing about another controversial problems around the world, which is about banning smoking in public places. I think smoking is very damaging to our health, especially for lung, and about some related to some respiratory problems in our public health. So if people smoke in public places, a lot of people will be affected by these smoking or air polluted. So our presentations today will be divided into 5 parts. First part is about the dangers in general of smoking in public places. Secondly, is about advantage of banning smoking in public places if you see the disadvantage of it. Thirdly, about solutions to these problems. Fourthly, about the disadvantage of banning smoking in public places, which is not much. I think not much. And lastly, of course, is about the conclusions of our presentations. So let's move on to the first part. The first part is about the dangers in general of smoking in public places. According to World Health Organizations, it kills up to 8 million of people to die each year from smoking, from disease problems related to smoking. About 7 million of people will die from smoking, but from direct smokers or users. And 1.2 million people will die from this by secondhand smokers, which people inhale this air polluted by the direct smoker. And according to some article, 80% of people that is smoking are living in low and middle income countries in the world. So according to some of the figures and number of people that are dying from smoking and tobacco, you can see the exact dangers of smoking, not exactly in public places, but anywhere around the world. So let's move on to the advantage of banning smoking in public places. As you see, the danger of smoking in general is far outweigh your imaginations. So before we talk about this topic, you have to know a phrase, or many of those don't know this phrase, which is secondhand smokers. Secondhand smokers is the one that inhale of air polluted by the smoker, real smokers. So according to some articles, half of children around the world has been inhaled and are the secondhand smoker in the world. And 65,000 of them will die from secondhand smoker because of related to disease that is related to lung cancer or some respiratory problems. These can lead to some diseases like emphysema, cardiovascular disease, disorders, or respiratory problems. In some pregnant women, it can affect these guys very much, as they can be affected like pregnancy complications and also low childbirth. It's very dangerous. So by banning smoking in public places, we can reduce the risk of dying from the secondhand smoker. So secondly, the advantage of banning smoking in public places is that it can reduce the healthcare costs. of government. We can, by banning smoking in public places, as many smokers that are appear turn on in hospital, in a restaurant, we can eliminate the number of people that are smoking or the secondhand smoker. Therefore, the money that was spent on these patients will be eliminated. According to some figures, the healthcare cost that was spent by the government takes around 9.3% of all the government cost on economies. So what are the solutions to the problems? Firstly, you can know that we can banning from advertising these of products in TV, in radio, or some printed newspaper, which is in direct form and also in indirect form. We can ban brand sharing, brand buying, so these products will not be sponsored. And also also another ways for reduce the consumptions of these products is that we can increase the taxes on these products. If we increase the taxes by 10%, we can decrease the consumption of products by 4% in high income country and 5% in low and middle income countries. So everything has the both sides. So smoking has also the disadvantage. The disadvantage of banning smoking is not much, but it can take somebody freedom. It can be a violation for somebody that was addicted to these kind of tobacco or cigarettes. And also people can it's also can affect the government economy as a high people unemployment, also high economy that are in our country will be collapsed, so the economies of our country will be decreased. But I think, in my opinion, the advantage of banning smoking in public places will be far way out the disadvantage of it. In conclusion, we must sum up some of advantage and solutions to this. The advantage is that can reduce the risk of secondhand smoker and also reduce the healthcare costs that was spent on these patients. And some solutions that we can ban some brand sharing and sponsor to these products and advertising on TV, radio, or increase the taxes on the smoking products. So it may be the end of my presentations. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.